In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 habits that I do every day, especially when it's a busy, hectic one. If I want to be productive and effective, these are the 6 habits that I don't negotiate with no matter what. The first thing I do in the morning is avoid looking at my phone. Now, it wasn't always that way. The first thing I used to do was reach over, open up my WhatsApp, my emails, my social media, my news feed, and get lost in the notifications, the noise, and potentially the negativity that it brought with it. At one point, I used to lock my phone and my laptop and all my other devices in my car outside just to get out of this habit. I had bought myself a real alarm clock, which I used to use, and that was the way I trained myself out of grabbing my phone first thing in the morning. Now, one of my favorite things that I do now is that I have this little post-it note that I keep next to my bedside table, and on it, it says, "What are you grateful for?" And that message starts my day with a different thought. Studies have shown that when you're present in gratitude, you can't be anywhere else. So when you're having a grateful thought, you can't have an anxious thought. When you're having a grateful thought, you can't have a negative thought. And so it's so powerful to start your day. So grab a post-it, grab a Sharpie, and write a question on it that you want to answer first thing in the morning. Now, you'll be able to tell that I like post-its because as I brush my teeth, I have this post-it, and I got into the habit of this when I lived as a monk, where I'd put it in front of me, and on it, it says, "I am awareness." This is one of my favorite affirmations to start the day with. I recommend this to clients, to people I'm working with, because when you start with that mindset, you disassociate and disconnect with the thought of "I am the body" or "I am my mind." And if you think about it, we always say my mind and my body. And spiritual teaching suggests that we are actually awareness, consciousness. And so that reminder at the beginning of the day sets me up to now look at my life as an observer, to look at interactions as an observer, to approach relationships from that slightly distant view so that I can actually approach them with the love, compassion, the empathy that naturally comes from the consciousness. Post-its are great, different colors are great, go crazy and use post-its anywhere in your home to remind you of powerful mindset shifts. A few years ago, I started to realize that my favorite thing to do in every day was to learn. But when my days got busy with multiple podcast recordings, multiple meetings, Zoom meetings, phone calls, the first thing that went out of the window was learning. Because it becomes harder to spend time with a book. It becomes more difficult to listen to a podcast. And I'm sure some of you agree with this, or many of you have had this experience. And that was until I discovered Blinkist. What I love about Blinkist as an app is that it condenses over 4,000 nonfiction books into 15-minute reads. So I can browse so many different topics. And as you can see from this, I'm pretty much interested in everything it has to offer. It's awesome to have this breadth and depth in one place. And it makes it so simple to synthesize the book into these blinks. So I can read or focus on a particular chapter. It gives me a key takeaway and message that I can focus on and think about throughout the day. And I don't feel that any day is wasted without that feeling of curiosity, intrigue, and learning. Thich Nhat Hanh is one of my favorite authors, and this book, The Art of Living, is one of my favorites. So this app allows me to revisit books that I love. It allows me to extract the key messages and the essence that I want to apply into my life. And that's often what I'm looking for is, what's an idea that I can read and take from a book and actually try and put into practice and live that day. This app has been a game changer for me in my day, and I'm so grateful to be partnering with them because it's allowed me to make sure I'm always learning, whether I'm in the back of an Uber, a car, whether I'm in an elevator, whether I'm walking around throughout the day. It's a great way for me to always be learning. The next habit has a lot of different conflicting views, and I know everyone has their opinions about this, but for me personally, it's been a habit that has changed the way I feel. It's the controversial celery juice. Now, I was introduced to the idea of celery juice from multiple podcast interviews I did and articles I read, and I started the practice to hopefully allow me to reduce inflammation and better my gut health. And for me, since I started doing this in January 2020, it's been an incredibly helpful practice. I feel a sense of lightness, I feel more vibrant, I feel cleansed every time I have my juice. And it's been a game changer. It truly, truly has. So if I'm tired in a day, if I'm feeling that afternoon lull, if I'm feeling a bit de-energized, I know that having a celery juice is a healthy way of feeling reinvigorated. Now, it's something that I recommend you try and give a go because it could be a game changer for you as well. Journaling can often be seen as a habit that wastes time. You're sitting there writing when you could be doing something. But I find setting your intention and setting your desire for the day is a much more powerful and practical way to now walk into your day and feel like you know why you're there, to feel a sense of purpose. And so for me, setting an intention before a big meeting, before a difficult phone call, before an awkward conversation reminds me of who I want to be in that interaction. And that remembrance, that confidence, and clarity around who I want to be allows me to navigate those seemingly difficult, awkward moments that naturally arise throughout the day. So this is a time that I take, and as you can see from my notes, none of these are beautiful, none of these are perfect, none of these are fully aligned. They are scattered, spontaneous, sometimes random thoughts, and I allow myself to doodle, squiggle, whatever it takes, because that allows me to feel that it's free-flowing. Stop trying to make it perfect. Stop trying to make it look amazing. Just make it the way it allows you to feel like you have a window into your mind. And so when I look at these notes, I sometimes think, I'm just allowing myself to express what's on my mind right now. When I'm having a productive, effective day, that doesn't mean I don't get distracted. I get distracted plenty of times. I have tons of notifications, social media, big announcements, things that are happening throughout the day, plus a team across the world in different time zones to manage. So when I get distracted, I've created a really healthy relationship with distraction. I feel like sometimes our relationship with distraction is quite negative. We see it as a bad thing. We judge ourselves for feeling distracted. We start saying, oh, I wish I was more focused, or I wish I was more effective. So I literally got one of these distraction timers, as I call it, and I turn it over as soon as I get distracted. I let the sand run out, and as soon as it runs out, I have to get back to my task. This gives me the space and the time to allow for little distractions, and now I've figured out a way to allow myself 5 minutes of distraction time every hour. So every hour I allow myself to browse on my phone for 2 to 5 minutes, and that way I know that that time is going to happen, that time is going to come, and that allows me to delay it, to put it off, and to postpone my own distractions. I hope that this video has helped you understand the 6 habits that I use every day to remain productive, even in a hectic and busy day, and also the habits that help me manage it with ease and simplicity. Right now, Blinkist has a special offer just for our audience. Go to Blinkist.com/Jay Shetty to start your free 7-day trial and get 25% off a Blinkist premium membership. That's Blinkist, spelled Blinkist.com/Jay Shetty to get a 25% off and a 7-day free trial. This week, try to implement just one of these habits. Experiment with it and see which one works for you. Thank you.